Shelter-in-place order, day 3. My Vienna sausage rations were running low, and so I had to go to the store today. It was chaos. There were old people everywhere, and I don't know, something fell off. Nah, just kidding. It was a pleasant trip to the grocery store this morning. I went early. There was hardly anybody in the store. There were some old people there for sure. And the store was pretty well stocked. They didn't have any toilet paper. They didn't have any canned goods. But besides that, I mean, pretty much everything else was there. I was only there for perishables, to be honest, because when it comes to canned goods and things that you can store, I probably have, 3 months worth of stuff. Anyway, interesting side note to this story. There's a person that I'm friends with on social media who's normally a very level-headed person, but he's been freaking out about this whole thing. Doom and gloom every single day. Very angry about young bucks like me that don't necessarily take this as seriously as he does. And I do take it seriously. I'm just, on a little perspective, a little balance here, because at the end of the day, as bad as this thing is, people die every day, and I knew that before that this happened. People die every flu season. The other flu season, we had like 80,000 deaths because of the flu. And so I'm not saying this is the flu, so before you get in the comments, this is not the flu, I get it, but let's not lose our heads here. But anyway, this guy who's talking about how all these guys are just walking around business as usual. I was warning people for weeks and months to stock up on food, which good for you, by the way, because when this guy was warning people to stock up on food, I pretty much stock up already, but I did actually take his advice because I was like, this is probably a good idea to re-up my stock. I probably had maybe a month or two's worth of food, and through this guy's advice, I got about 4 months worth of food, maybe not, I don't know. It's hard to really know, but when you stretch it out, it could probably last a while. Anyway, 3 months, let's just say. But anyway, the point is, though, that, so good for this guy for warning people, very good, but the doom and gloom is a little much. He's very mad about people walking around business as usual. They're not wearing gloves, they're not wearing masks. And then this guy has the audacity. To say, well, I'm going to go to the grocery store today to get some perishables. We need some eggs, we need some vegetables and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, like, where's the line here? So you're all angry because people are going to Home Depot, getting stuff that they need for their house and stuff like that. You're angry that it's business as usual, but yet you have stored food in your house and you are going out exposing you and others to this potential killer virus, all to get some eggs because you prefer to have eggs in the morning. Why not just eat some Vienna sausages for breakfast instead of eggs like you're used to? Why? And then he bemoaned the fact that people were limiting the amount of eggs you could buy because he said, well, the problem is if you limit 2 per customer, then people are just going to have to go to multiple stores to get what they want. They're going to spread the virus even more. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, if this is really the Black Death like you claim, then why don't you seriously hunker down? Forget the eggs. Maybe you don't have an omelet. But you see, that's the question here. I'm not mad at him for this. I didn't comment on it because I'm going to get eggs too if I want some eggs. You know what I mean? But the thing is, where's the line, right? Like, he's all pissed off at people because they're going to Home Depot because they might need a hammer or something. And he's going to get, let's just face it, a luxury item when you have months of stored food in your pantry. Eggs, vegetables, things of that nature. Look, these are not luxury items in general. I'm just saying, if this really is the Black Death, maybe hold off on eggs for a month. I mean, it's not going to kill you. That's the point, though. There's no line here. Like, I asked the question on Twitter yesterday. I was like, where's the line, right? So this is a bigger death rate than the flu virus. Okay, granted. Let's just say it's 20 times, 30 times, 50 times more deadly than the flu. Okay, so the question is, what is the cutoff point? When do you have to cancel church? When do you have to obey these shelter-in-place orders from the government and stuff like that? And when is it out of line? There is no answer to that question. That's what my video was about yesterday. It's fine. There's so much out there of people saying you have to go with my standard of what's acceptable, what's essential, and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who gets to decide what's essential? We cancel essential businesses, yet the liquor stores are open, the pot stores are open, the abortion clinics are open, the sex toy stores are open. And it's like, has the church really bought into the, like we decide if we're essential or not based on what daddy government says? Like, have we really bought into that? Now, again, in my video yesterday, I said, there are good reasons to cancel church, but it's got to be your call. It's got to be in your hands, not daddy government. That's the point. But anyway, this video is not even supposed to be about that. I made a point yesterday about this problem with trying to pit the economy versus saving lives, because my argument was that the economy is critical to life. It's critical to human flourishing. It's critical to loving your neighbor. And so tanking the economy intentionally, which is what's happening here, and I'm not saying that that's their goal, although I have a suspicion that for many it is their goal to tank the economy. Tanking the economy intentionally is a problem. It's showing a disregard for human life. Let's watch this video together. We'll watch what I said yesterday, and then we'll see the response, which I think is quite classic. So seriously, guys, the take that that if you care about the stock market and the economy in general, that what you're saying is you really don't care that much about life, that is one of the stupidest takes ever. And I do mean ever. I realize that that's a strong statement, but it really is. It just shows you there's like a disconnect here. Economics and the economy itself is a part of life. When God saves souls for eternity, He's saving the whole person, including that person involved in economic activity. I think that there will be economic activity in the new heavens and new earth. It's not like this dirty thing that's somehow outside of us. No. That we are an economic creature. That's right. It's just that simple. And if you need evidence of this, there's so much in God's Word. Not just the law of God, but also the New Testament as well. How often does God say to the rich, don't hold back the workers' wages. Don't defraud people. Don't use your power to steal from those who are less fortunate than you. That's all laws regulating economic activity. And God says, if you do that, you'll be guilty of sin. The poor will cry out to Him, and He will hold you accountable for that. This is just one of the many, many, many laws I could have quoted here. This is the King James Version of the Bible. This is Deuteronomy 24:15. Each day you shall give him his wages, and not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and has set his heart on it, lest he cry against you to the Lord. He needs it to live. He needs his wages to live. He needs to be able to engage in commerce to live. This is part of being human. This is part of life. Economics and the economy and the state of the economy, being open for business, so to speak, is a matter of human flourishing. I'm serious, though, that this is a stupid take. Sipping on a working man's beer just because I'm talking about the working man. We need to go back to work. It's just that simple. So many of us who don't normally work from home or can't work from home. This virus is serious, but canceling the economy for months is serious, and probably more serious. I think that's a very level-headed, very winsome take, and a very obvious take. Like, I don't get the disconnect between understanding that the economy, being able to earn an income, being able to earn a wage and provide for your family, is not part and parcel of human flourishing. It's critical to human life. Critical. Being able to exchange labor for goods, being able to exchange labor for housing, being able to exchange and the free exchange of that, and being open for business in that way, you can't live without that. That's why there's so much in the Bible about economics. If you notice, there are so many parables about economics. There are so many laws about economics. When God comes in judgment against a nation, oftentimes He cites economic sins that they were engaged in. Economics is not this dirty, disconnected thing from human life and human flourishing and loving your neighbor. No, it's part and parcel of it. It has to be. It just has to be. And so, yes, the virus is serious and will cost lives, but canceling the economy is serious and probably more serious and probably will cost more lives. It's really just that simple. And so here's the guy who comes in and instantly proves my point that there's this weird disconnect. I think this guy's a Christian. I don't know who he is, but he's on my Facebook, and he took offense at what I said, which I can't believe some random person on the internet thinks I'm stupid or doesn't like me. He quotes me. He says, "This virus is serious, but canceling the economy is serious and probably more serious." There you have it, people. Money is more important than people's lives. Did I say money is more important than people's lives? I could have said it and forgot. It's only like a 2-minute video. Did I say money is more important than people's lives? No, I said money is critical for people's lives. Like, if you're going to live, you have to be able to have a medium of exchange. You have to be able to exchange your labor for the goods that you need to survive, to provide for your family. So it's not that money is more important than people's lives. Money is critical to people's lives. It's part of people's lives. So this guy just doesn't understand. There's a disconnect in this guy's brain between earning a wage and economics and earning an income and living as a human being. And that's not the biblical view. That's not the biblical view. The biblical view is that the economic situation that you find yourselves in is critical to your life. It's critical to your life. I think most people understand this, but I don't understand this. Okay, let's continue. He says, let's do some math. Let's say no matter what, 20% of Americans will be infected by COVID-19. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. 20% of 333 million is 65 million. If we don't cancel non-essential labor, then the virus will spread too quickly. It will overload our medical infrastructure, like in Italy. The death rate there is 8 to 10%. If 8% of the 65 million Americans who contract COVID die, that's 5 million people. However, if we do cancel non-essential labor, then the virus will spread slower and our medical infrastructure won't be overrun. For countries whose healthcare systems remain functional, the fatality rate is about 2%. If the same 65 million still get sick in this scenario over a longer period of time and only 2% of them die, that's only about 1 million people who die. Put simply, if we don't cancel anything, 5 million people will probably die. But at least our economy does better, and this is all over within a year. We cancel whatever we can. Second option, we cancel whatever we can, and only 1 million people die. Our economy tanks, and this may last up to 2 years. Take your pick, 5 million people dead, or more money in your pocket, or 1 million people dead and less money in your pocket. I think we all know what the Christian answer should be. Child, please. Because it's not a zero-sum game here. It's not either or. It's not either you want 5 million people to die or you want money in your pocket, more money in your pocket. That's not it, Josh. That's not it. So I know that you for some reason this is disconnected in your brain, but let's think like a big boy here, okay? Because the point of this video and the whole point of this thing is that there is a cost in lives associated with tanking the economy, canceling the economy for months and months and months. There's a life cost associated with that as well. So it's not 5 million people on this side or 1 million people and a few extra bucks in your pocket and stuff like that. That's not the option. And Josh, let me just say this. This is the view of an elitist. This is the view of an elitist. I'm not saying, I don't know your economic situation, but you're thinking like a rich person, because people who are really vulnerable right now, oftentimes have service jobs. That's definitely been canceled. Oftentimes have service jobs. Oftentimes have jobs that are live paycheck to paycheck and things like that. And so a few months of not working for them is brutal. Rich people, middle-class people can probably get by a few months not working. They could probably figure something out. They have people that have a lot of connections or a big network. They can probably figure something out. Like if I get into dire straits, I can talk to my parents. I can talk to my grandparents about loans or help and stuff like that. And it's okay for me. But not everyone's in my situation. Some people are isolated. Some people don't have that kind of a network. Some people don't have the savings to get through months and months of their job being banned. I'm not talking about just a few extra bucks in my pocket. I'm talking about entire sectors of the economy banned. Overnight, with just the stroke of a pen, you're banned from work. Guys, men are supposed to work. Being able to earn an income and provide for your family is critical for a human being. And entire sectors of this economy have been banned and told to stay home. So it's not that you just not just that you can't go to work or your business has been banned. It's also you got to stay home. You can't do what you got to do. This is a really simplistic, childish way to view this. It's childish, Josh. You're being childish. The way you say put simply, it's not simple like this. It's not 5 million deaths or a few extra bucks in your pocket. It's 5 million deaths. Okay, let's just say that happened, right? And then if you cancel the economy, you can add to that number. I don't know how to calculate the addition to that number, but not only are people going to be, unable to feed their families. And again, I'm not just even talking about the United States. Do you know how many economies count on the economic strength of the United States? How many economies count on the economic strength of the United States that have poor people that have hardly anything, live on less than $1 a day and stuff like that, and they count on our generosity and stuff like that? Look, if I have a good economy here, there's a lot more money to give to Ethiopia, to Somalia, stuff like that. If we don't have an economy here, less money goes there. It's just a matter of mathematics. And so again, Josh, this is childish and it's elitist. The economy needs to be strong in order for humans to flourish. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. You can't cancel the economy and expect there to be no death toll associated with it. We've got to be able to think. This is one thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately. We've got to be able to think like at least 2 steps ahead. Oftentimes we only think about the immediate consequence, the immediate thing, and what it looks like we're doing, instead of thinking 2 steps ahead. I'll give you a perfect example. This is something I mentioned earlier. Let's just say all of a sudden you shorten the hours of a grocery store and you say, you know what, seniors, come to the grocery store between 6 and 8 a.m. and everyone else come between 8 and 6 p.m., right? We're going to close early. We're going to open late for regular people and all the old people come at the same time. Now that sounds like a pretty good idea, on the surface, right? Let's think 2 steps ahead here. Let's say one of these old people is sick with COVID. And now all the old people are shopping at the same time. And so now one old person can make all the rest of the old people sick. And now you've got a tragedy on your hands because they're all shopping during the same designated hours because you didn't think 2 steps ahead of what could happen. Let's talk about the shortened business hours. Listen, businesses could do whatever they want, but insisting that they shorten hours, for example. Now all of a sudden you've got bedlam. You've got people that normally would shop later now all trying to cram into a few hours. Now there's people everywhere and everyone's coughing on each other and stuff like that. You see, you got to be able to think at least 2 steps ahead. Josh, you've thought about this about a millimeter of depth here, Josh. This is pathetic. It really is to think in this way. Well, I guess you just want a few extra bucks in your pocket. No, it's about everyone on the chain. The more money that I have in my pocket, the more I can provide for my family. The more I can provide for my family, the more I can give away. The more we can give away, the more they can give away. The less deaths that we have all the way down the chain, all the way to the poor person in the slums of Mumbai. You know what I mean? And it's just so. It's very stupid to think of this way. There are certainly greedy people out there, Josh. There are certainly greedy people out there that just want money. But you know what? The ones that are greedy and just want money, they'll figure out a way to make money in a down economy. And the thing is, this is not about a few extra bucks in our pocket. This is about literally saving lives. There are countless verses in the Bible that talk about, allowing the worker to get his wages. There's nothing in the Bible about banning entire segments of the economy, the legitimate economy. Nothing. The governor doesn't have that authority. The church doesn't have that authority. The individual doesn't have that authority. The family doesn't have that authority. And it's just that simple. And so, Josh, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're speaking like an idiot here. This is not the choice. This is not what I was saying. What I was saying was that the economy, tanking for a year or 2 years, will be deadly. Deadly. Probably more deadly than the virus. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. God bless. See you tomorrow, day 4, quarantine. Take care.